All right, what's up, YouTube? It's your boy Sly88 Fry here. This is my good friend John. He's actually helped me on some other videos in the past. He was actually with me on. Check out the video from last year when we saw two flashes. And I'm not talking about flashes. I'm talking about, the DC Comics superhero, two flashes. It was awesome. Check out that video. That's the other react he's in. And I'm sure he'll be in some more someday when we both have time. Anyways, John, why don't you introduce yourself some more?
Hey guys, my name's Jonathan, and some people might call me ZRJ Rose, ZOMG Ruler. And occasionally in the past, I have helped. Sean and I have collaborated, and I always like collaborating when it's ever comic book stuff because I really love comic books. I love the comic book TV shows. I love the comic book movies. So whenever it's anything comic book related, I always love getting involved and seeing how Sly here reacts to them. I'm not a big aficionado on everything. I'm not a big encyclopedia on superhero stuff, so I don't know a whole lot about the Eternals. I know a good gist of them, and I can kind of give you guys the gist of what I know from the source material. I'm also a big fan of Ryan George, so I think he's really funny, and I look forward to seeing Sean's reaction.
All right, and I look forward to seeing you react along with me. This should be a blast. This is the second time we've done a react together. Hopefully we could do some more in the future. That was actually fun the first time, and I think this will be a lot of fun to do a second time as well. So I'm going to go on to YouTube. The recording of this is going to be kind of awkward. Sorry, guys. It's just how I have to do it to make sure that everything is on screen together. But I will try to make sure that it looks good, I guess, and let's all right, so John, you ready to start in shall we count to three?
Yeah, three backwards. 3, 2, 1.
All right, awesome.
So, you have a new superhero movie for me? Yes, sir, I do. And it's a team of superheroes, right? Oh boy. We're talking a speedster, a lady with ancient weapons, a super strong guy that flies and shoots beams from his eyes.
Wow,
yeah, then there's Batman and Aquaman. You're not in the right offices, my dude. Oh, no, I'm talking about the Eternals. Are you sure? I'm pretty sure, yeah. Okay, great. So who are the main characters in this thing? Oh, we've got some great main characters. We've got Cersei and Icarus. Okay, good. And Thena. And Gilgamesh. Oh, a couple more. Okay. And also Kingo and Makari. You're still going. And that's it for the characters, other than Sprite and Druid. Ah, okay. All right. So those are the Eternals, also Ajax and Phastos. Okay, and you have enough time to introduce and develop all these characters? Maybe. Sounds like maybe this should be a Disney Plus series, give this all a bit more breathing room. Yeah, we could shove them into a single movie, it's fine. Well, okay then. So what's the deal with these characters? Oh, well, they've been around for thousands of years doing stuff like standing in a line and staring in the same direction dramatically. Nice. Having philosophical conversations, but only at golden hour. Why even talk at any other time of day? There's no point. And also, some of these characters are in love with each other. Oh, they are? Yeah, like when Icarus first wakes up, he sees this other Eternal, and he's smitten. So he's like, hi, I'm Icarus. And she's like, I'm sassy. Oh, being sassy is tight. Oh, no, sorry, her name is Cersei. She just has a British accent. I still stand by what I said. Fair enough. So these Eternals were sent by a Celestial to protect humans, right? Okay, so then why didn't they help out when Thanos attacked? Ah, well, see, they were instructed to only fight these deviant monsters and to not interfere in human affairs. Oh. Okay. And also they introduced technology to humans, which humans then use to kill each other. Okay, that feels like getting involved in human conflict.
Yeah, Marvel does that a lot.
Oh, okay, and so you said they all have powers? They do, yeah. One of them has super strength, one of them can make illusions and is a child, and another one could do mind control, which obviously he's not allowed to use. And these Eternals were created by Celestials to go fight deviants. That's right. Why not give them each all the powers? Unclear. So anyway, they wiped out all these deviants like 500 years ago. And then they kind of split up. Okay. But then deviants start popping up again and Ajax gets killed. Oh, she's one of the characters, I think. I'm almost sure of it. That's right, yeah. We'll learn a little more about her later, but for now, just be sad about that, okay? I'll try, but I don't really know who that is, to be honest. So now that the deviants are back and an Eternal is dead, they gotta get the band back together. Oh boy. And so You know, there are so many characters that pretty much takes up the whole movie. Oh, it does? Okay. Yeah, like they go pick up Kingo, who's now a Bollywood star, so that's fun. That's fun. Oh, yeah, and side note, I already have Kumail Nanjiani interested in playing the role.
Yeah, the Bollywood guy, Kamanji, I think his name is.
He said he's going to work out for like a year to get in Marvel shape, you know, like crazy ripped and muscular. Oh, you know what would be funny if we have him do all that work and then we don't even give him one of those classic Marvel shirtless scenes. Oh, that's a hilarious prank. Okay, let's do that.
DC does that too. DC's also has the shirtless
dudes. We're also going to find out the real reason they were all
true.
sent to Earth to stop deviants from killing humans. And why is that?
Every
See, once the
superhero
Earth reaches
movie,
the necessary population, a celestial can be born from the Earth's core, and everyone on the planet will die. Oh no, yeah, it's pretty serious. And the Eternals have unknowingly been doing this a lot, but every time a celestial is born, they get their memories.
It's rated R though.
So if that's how new celestials are born, it definitely feels like it would have been in their interest to get involved in the Thanos situation of wiping out half of all populations. Maybe, but see, the thing is, we already didn't introduce the Eternals into the Avengers movies, so I'm gonna need you to get all the way off my back about this. Oh yeah, okay, let me get off of that thing. Oh, I should also mention that there's this one deviant monster that's like evolving and growing intelligence every time he kills an Eternal. Oh boy, I bet that's gonna come into play later. Not particularly, no. Oh. Yeah, he's like, oh man, I guess we're all just pawns of Celestials, huh? And then he's gonna show up in the final fight and just kind of get killed. Feels like an interesting concept to flesh out more. Well, there's no time. You know we're doing like 8-hour Disney Plus Marvel shows now. You can't explore this stuff.
I do agree with that. I do think it was
Take
better
all
off
these
as like Disney
fascinating
Plus
ideas and
miniseries.
characters and shove them into a single movie and then just kind of speed run through them. Well, okay then. So what does happen in the final fight? Oh, well, see, we're gonna find out that Icarus is actually cool with the plan of the Celestials. He's okay with everybody dying. Oh, and he's the one who killed Ajax by pushing her into a pile of deviants. Very rude. And so Sprite, who's secretly in love with him, she follows him, and then Kingo is like, I don't even want to be in the third act, so he leaves. I mean, up to him, I guess. So how does the movie end? Well, the Eternals need to stop this giant, massive celestial that's actively emerging from the Earth's core. Sounds like it's going to be hard to do that. Actually, it's going to be super easy. Barely an inconvenience. Oh, really? Yes, he turns out they can amplify one of the Eternals' powers, so Cersei just turns this thing to, like, marble. And a giant being emerging from the core of the Earth that doesn't have any effect on the Earth, you know, like planet-wise? No. Oh, okay, great. And then Cersei's like, hey, Sprite, I think I still have some power left from whatever that was, so I can turn you into a human since you hate being a child. And that's a thing she knows how to do? Sure, yeah, okay. Well, I guess they're pretty good friends, huh? Yeah, except for Sprite literally stabbing her in the back just a few minutes earlier. Oh my gosh. And then Icarus feels super guilty, so he flies into the sun. Well, I mean, if you're gonna have a character named Icarus, gotta fly that guy into the sun for sure. Yeah, our hands are kind of tight on that one for sure. And then a big celestial shows up and kidnaps some of the Eternals. Oh wow, what happens with that? Hopefully this movie does well so we can expand on that. Oh, that's how the movie ends? It is, yeah. Well, I mean, we're gonna have our obligatory mid-credit scene. I mean, yeah, we gotta do that. Yeah. That's tradition, you know? Remember when it was just Nick Fury walking around recruiting people into the Avengers? Yeah, simpler times. That is not where we're at anymore. Why, what happens in this one? An alcoholic troll pops out of a space portal and introduces one of the guys from One Direction.
What the fuck?
I mean, yeah, okay, that may as well happen, sure. So what do you think? Well, it sounds like it could be a fantastic series. This is a movie. I said what I said. But anyway, no matter what we do, people are gonna love it. I mean, this is the MCU we're talking about. Very true. Hey everybody, Ryan here. Hope you enjoyed that video. And if you liked it, feel free to click the like button and the subscribe button and all, you know, buttons of that nature. There are also like hundreds of other episodes on the channel that you can check out. Also leave a comment down below letting me know what other movies you want to see pitches for. And check back soon for a new one, because there's going to be new ones, you know? Okay, bye.
Focusing on Hangouts right now, putting it in full screen for both of us. Hell yeah, that was an awesome pitch meeting. Holy crap.
That was so funny.
I think next time we should try to figure out how to set up pauses, because there were some times that we talked over it because we had a lot to say. Yeah. That was why I wasn't talking that much.
Near each other again in the future, and
yeah, we could always try again in the future.
Do this together in person.
Yeah, that's true. We could always, like, if we were in person, we could just pause it because we're watching together. But that was really awesome. Like, holy crap. Ryan George, as always, a comedic genius. You just can't go wrong with this guy. He's always been hilarious.
I really can't.
And like, I can't even think of a single video of his, whether it was on his channel or if it was a pitch meeting on Screen Rant that I never liked. I've liked every video of his, which is, something you can't find normally. And there's even there's even AVGN episodes I actually don't like. Like the Atari Sports one I thought sucked. The Alien 3 one I thought was underwhelming, and the Echo the Dolphin one was disappointing because he never went to that crazy giant alien head final boss.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more of a nostalgia critic guy, but there's episodes of his I definitely don't like, whether it be Pink Floyd's The Wall or his Bart's Nightmare review. He's done some stuff I don't like either.
Yeah.
But I can't think of a single thing Ryan George has done didn't like. So, do you have any questions for me for context?
Sure. I remember you telling me beforehand, before we even watched this pitch meeting just now, that you mentioned that this was the first MCU film that actually had some negative reviews, like some actual serious negative reviews. I mean, obviously, every MCU film, none of them have a perfect score. There's obviously critics for every film that disliked it. For example, my friend Kyle mentioned that there were people who disliked Endgame, and I was like, I don't know what's wrong with Endgame. My only issue is that Captain Marvel was OP, and everybody fired on her like she was Superman or something, but that wasn't really much of an issue because they were smart about it since she was a new character and only had her in the movie for, like 10 minutes or something. That was fine,
Yeah, my issue with Endgame was I really enjoyed Endgame, but I really wish it was it felt like this should have been like the last movie of the MCU, and then they reboot because they have all their X-Men and Fantastic Four back. So this could be a great way to relaunch and start something new.
Yeah. I think the MCU has peaked with Endgame. It can't go any higher than that. I mean, it's the highest selling movie of all time. The highest grossing movie of all time. So I think they peaked with that. There's nothing as compelling as that movie. About this movie, I do remember you mentioning how, there were negative reviews for the Eternals, and Marvel fans got really mad about that, didn't they?
Yeah, because here's the thing. On my I have a huge array of different types of DC and Marvel fans, and the opinions for this movie were all over the place. There's I guess DC fans who kind of see a kindred spirit with this movie because they feel the empathy of whenever when Man of Steel, BVS got bad reviews, and there's a kindred spirit with Eternals because Eternals does in a lot of ways. There are parts that do feel like Zack Snyder directed it, and the director of the film, Chloe Zhao, said she was influenced by Snyder, particularly for the character Icarus, who was the Superman character, and
Icarus
so
was
I could see
completely identical to Superman to me. The footage they showed was lasers, flies, doesn't die. This is Superman.
Yeah, because there's two kinds of Marvel fans that are seeing it this way. There's the kinds that are defending the film, just not getting critics are assholes. They're being way too harsh, and on the other side of the fence, they're like, oh, she's inspired by Zack Snyder. Well, no wonder people think this movie sucks. And there's just two sides of the coin to this, and both sides are just ridiculous, but for different reasons.
Yeah. Honestly, I think this was a crash down to earth that that we needed for Marvel fans, because every time a DCEU film was critically panned, they shoved it in everyone's face. I like both Marvel and DC, but I actually enjoy the DCEU. But
me too. I only like one or two movies. I even then I don't really hate them. I don't think there's a DCEU movie I outright hated.
Yeah,
there's some
the only DCEU film that I've seen that I didn't really like that much was not the Suicide Squad, not the recent one. I haven't seen that one, but the one from
the 2016 one.
Yeah, Suicide Squad. That one wasn't very good. But the other films I liked. I liked Batman v Superman, and people who are Marvel fans were like, "Oh, well, just accept it. This movie sucks." And it's like, dude, get off your high horse. Yeah, you've been lucky and had a lot of great films, but you don't need to shove it in our faces because We like some DC stuff that's been critically panned. This, a critically panned MCU film was exactly what we needed, because they would never stop shoving it in our faces for liking DCEU.
Yeah, because I'll say this. I'll say this because the people who needed a humbling, now you know how it feels, and the people that are trying to throw this movie into the bus, saying, "Oh, it's like a DC film, so we're not going to count as an MCU movie." You guys are a bunch of assholes, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to get a little triggered here, but guess what? If Kevin Feige allowed this movie to be made, either one of two things: either he doesn't care how people feel about Zack Snyder, or he likes Zack Snyder. So if you're throwing Chloe Zhao under the bus, you're throwing Kevin Feige under the bus. So you guys are the ultimate hypocrites. So shut the hell up.
They are hypocrites. It's like in that hilarious college humor animation that came out like 12 years ago or whatever, when Captain Picard was against Darth Vader and they were talking shit to each other, right? And Darth Vader was like, "Oh yeah, we don't count the prequels. We just count the original trilogy and the Clone Wars. That's all we count." And then Picard's like, "Oh really? If that's the case, then we only count the even-numbered Star Trek films." It's like, don't be a hypocrite. It is canon, whether you like it or not. It is actually part of the official canon. You can't just...
Guess what? If you guys got a DCU-esque Marvel film, gonna live with it. Kevin Feige approved the film. It's out there, just like the Star Trek films, just like the prequels, and even the fans. There's also people, Disney sequel, Star Wars fan haters out there too. Those are canon too. No matter what you hear on Reddit or Twitter, they're not going to reboot. They're not going to erase the sequel trilogy. They're not going to erase the prequel trilogy. Star Wars films that happen are canon. And there are some people out there that like all the Star Wars films. There are some people that are like me that take it by film. Like there's one or two in the prequels I like. There's one or two in the sequels I like. So this whole
if you like all the Star Wars films, there's totally nothing wrong with that. I can find something I like about every film. The Phantom Menace, I like that you get to see the start of Palpatine. You get to see him before he actually really gets big.
Oh yeah,
I think that's actually pretty cool. But yes, the film is obviously flawed. But of course, everybody loves the Darth Maul. Everybody loves the pod race. Everybody hates the Jar Jar Binks. But Jar Jar Binks exists in the Star Wars universe. You can't just say he doesn't exist. He's there. He's in all three of the prequels. He's in the Clone Wars series. There's even an episode of the Clone Wars where he's a major character, and I'm like, please, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? But they found a way to kind of still make it work. It's because Clone Wars is unlike the movies, it's geared a little more towards the kids than the movies are, so they kind of got away with that, in the Clone Wars. But yeah, back to our point about the MCU, DCU, whatever. The fact is, it's canon. You can't just say it's not canon because the film is bad. Here's another thing that's a good example. Okay, the Sonic movie, right? The first trailer had an ugly ass looking Sonic. Okay, so here's the facts. That ugly ass Sonic is not canon. It was a trailer that got taken down by Paramount themselves, so that makes him not canon. You can say that because in the official film it was the better looking render of Sonic. But when you say stuff like, when a film is released with everything it has, like the Eternals, and you say it's not canon, that's just you making excuses. It's canon.
Exactly. And you know what? Look, at the end of the day, there's always these people online that are just in these echo chambers. They're a group think. They want everyone to think a certain way. There's been several people that try to tell me the best Marvel movie or the best DC movie is not as good as the worst Marvel movie. I'm just like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, it's a very rude statement to say. It's literally saying, "Hi, I am biased. I am biased. I am biased. I am biased. I am biased and I am biased. I am biased, biased, biased. Bias is my name and bias is my game. I am biased and I am biased." That's basically what they're saying.
Pretty much. That's what. Yeah. They lean towards favoritism. And look, everybody has their biases. I prefer DC over Marvel, but I do enjoy. Look, I mean, like Shang-Chi is in my top 5 favorite comic book movies of the year.
Yeah, exactly.
So I just try to enjoy the movies on a film by film basis. I try not to judge, because look, if I did, I'm judging 26 movies versus 10 movies. If we're just going by the MCU and the DCEU, not counting the non-MCU and the non-DCEU comic book film, and also the non-MCU Marvel films, the non-DCEU DC films. So I just think eventually people are just gonna have to just like get over themselves, because next year I'm really looking forward to the comic book movies that are coming out. There's some really DC and Marvel has some interesting ones, and I'm seeing No Way Home on December 18th with a buddy, so I'm really looking forward.
I need to watch those other MCU Spider-Man films. I haven't seen the other two, but I'd like to. They're not even on Disney Plus because it's by Sony, huh?
Yeah, Sony. Even though they allow Spider-Man in the MCU, Sony still has distribution rights over the film. So
Sony owns Crackle, right? Maybe it's on there.
Well, what Sony's doing is they're not doing one streaming service. They have a bunch of movies they're going to distribute on Netflix, and there's a bunch of movies they're going to also eventually stream on Disney Plus. But I think they want to wait. That's not going to take effect for another year. So right now, I believe, depending on the release schedule, I know they have a deal with Netflix to release, which is fine. I mean, they're competing against Disney Plus, HBO Max, Peacock.
That's funny that we're saying they're competing against Peacock. I don't know if I know anybody who has that. I mean, I used Peacock because it was free, but I never used the premium version of it. Anyways, we're going off on a tangent about streaming sites.
Yeah, you wanted to ask me any questions about the Eternals, like what I think of the movie? Do I know anything about the history? I know you wanted to ask.
We'll have to stop pretty soon, but sure. Like, what about the history of the Eternals? You said you knew like some of it, right?
Yeah. So the Eternals was created by legendary comic book writer Jack the King Kirby. He's best known. He's helped really shape. He's one of the people that shaped up the MCU, helped shape up Captain America, Spider-Man, Thor, Iron Man, all those characters. And then he went over to DC and he created the New Gods, which is one of them is Darkseid, and he had his own storylines with these New Gods. It's kind of like a heaven and hell allegory.
Okay.
Like New Genesis is like heaven, and Apocalypse is like hell. So there's like this like existential, religious like type of storytelling, like biblical storytelling. And then when he switched over to Marvel, he created a similar thing with the Eternals. Eternals, as far as I know, is basically these deities, like these deity-like beings, responsible, like were there since the beginning of the universe, and apparently Thanos is like part of all that, and his brother, Amos, I think his name is, but they call him Star Fox, who's going to be played by Harry Styles going forward.
Star Fox. I remember having that conversation. Hey, they were in 1993. They saw Nintendo make that Star Fox for Super Nintendo. They went back to, 1973? And they made Star Fox. It's time travel in real life.
But if he's thousands of years old, here's an even better joke. Like in 1992, he just went to Earth, visited Nintendo. Like, you know what? You guys should create a game called Star Fox. I don't know why. That name just rings true to me. I think it'd make a lot of kids happy.
I bet he did. I bet he did.
Okay,
Nintendo
Mr.
should just have an
Flyman,
appearance in an MCU film with this guy showing up. That would make billions.
It's canon. It's Star Fox is confirmed.
Yeah.
So that's all I really know about the Eternals, and I like, I didn't hate the film. I respect it for trying something very different with Marvel.
Yeah.
But it didn't have to be that long, and there are a lot of characters, and I liked the lead, Cersei, the most. Because she had the most screen time. She was the leader. So everyone else was just kind of like dragged down. They didn't really get to have much character development. She was really the only one who got any kind of character development. But I still felt like at the end of the movie, I didn't know anything about her, because there's so many years, millenniums of potential backstory that could go through these characters. And
they probably should have really made it a Disney Plus series like Ryan George said on Pitch Meeting, because it seems like there's just way too many characters. I mean, the thing with the MCU is that the MCU was developed over time. Like with Iron Man, all we knew was that there was Iron Man. There wasn't even I don't think the only thing that gave away that there was going to be more films was the secret scene with Nick Fury. All we knew was that there was Iron Man. And then when I didn't see Incredible Hulk, but Thor was not involved with the other characters at all. I mean, Hawkeye appeared briefly in Thor, but that was it. And Captain America was back in the 1940s, I think it was, and would only connect with everybody else when it was frozen and sent forward in time. So I mean, it seems almost like, from what I'm seeing with this pitch meeting, and from what you're explaining as well, they were trying to develop all these characters at once, when it would have been better if they took the route that the MCU was succeeding with to begin with, developing them through movie to movie. This character in this movie, this character in that movie, this character in this movie, this character in that movie, put them together in a big movie, Avengers, and then maybe Eternals could have been like its own thing. It could have started with individual characters, and over time been like a big Eternals film, like what they've done with the Avengers so far. Or it might have just been better to do a Disney Plus series. Either way, it would have been better than just putting all of this into one film. I think I wouldn't be surprised if some of the critical complaints. And don't get me wrong, I like Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. I think it's a very underrated film. But I think went along with I think some of the critical complaints had to do with too many characters and stuff. I think that was probably one of the complaints with Eternals. I'd imagine, too many characters, not enough development.
Yeah, I mean, then again, Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame, they had characters, but I guess there are a lot of the other characters already appeared in previous films.
Yeah, that's the thing. They had developed over time already.
Yeah, because BVS was only the second film in the DC extended universe. I mean, I think Nostalgia Critic said it best. They basically did Iron Man, Civil War, Guardians of the Galaxy, Captain America, and then the Avengers. That's how it's basically describing the first 5 DCEU films. And I mean, I could see that probably. I mean, listen, I don't want to say Marvel's the gold standard, they did it the right way. I don't believe everyone should do their own way of just storytelling and have their own vision. I don't think everybody should copy. But maybe there could have been a different way DC could have done it. In the DC animated universe, they had a Batman animated show, then a Superman animated show, and then Static, Batman Beyond, and then the Zeta Project, which not many people remember, and then Justice League.
I loved how a few years ago I saw an honest trailer for that 1980s Captain America show, and then they made a joke about how Marvel sucks and DC should buy them because it was the 1980s or whatever. That was perfect, because people nowadays are saying that Marvel should buy DC, but if you go back to the 80s and 90s, it was the opposite. DC was king.
To say a paradigm shift hasn't happened, at least as a narrative, would be a fool's errand. And I mean, but here's the thing, even today, if you're going to compare DC animated with Marvel animated, I don't go on social media and say, restore the animated Spider-Verse from 1997. I see restore the Snyderverse. So at least you'll never see a massive subculture so devoted to one director, or two directors. You count David Ayer, because the one we didn't like, Suicide Squad, that movie, now looking back on it, wasn't his fault, because there's a demand for him to get his full director's cut. He didn't get his full vision.
There was a whole lot of weird stuff going on behind the scenes of that film. Anyways, we've actually been talking quite a while. I gotta go back to work actually, but anyways, updates. My wife and I are moving. John, thank you for offering to help tomorrow. I appreciate that. I know you're traveling for an hour, so that's going to be, you know, a little more. I mean, an hour is not too bad, but you know, you're still traveling, so I appreciate that. And yeah, hopefully we get into a permanent situation that works out for us. And then as for the video itself, this was awesome. I hope we do some more in the future. I had a blast doing this with you once again. Maybe I could try to find a way to better have the YouTube video take up more screen. I'll try to figure that out maybe before the next time we do this. But yeah, this was a blast. I'll be going back to work. I'll probably have to make a custom thumbnail for this, but yeah. Thanks for joining, John, and thanks for suggesting the video. We were talking about doing this tomorrow, but I was like, no, I'll just do it today. Let's do it, because we're gonna be busy moving tomorrow.
Yeah, while still trending. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, click that bell icon to add me notifications, and John also has his own YouTube channel. You want to plug your YouTube stuff too, or Twitch or whatever?
I haven't uploaded stuff on there very much. I mean, I hope to do it again really soon. You know, just check out my ZOMG ruler channel. I got some great content on there, and I hope to get some more content because I'm moving myself. And actually, we're hoping Sean can maybe move into my old place, and after I move into my new place, and I'll have more room to do stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And I was gonna say, I have your channel. It's in if you go to my channels and go to my it's called Sly. It's Cool Slies and channels I react to. Oh My God Ruler's up there in like the top 6, I think. I forget where, but he's up there, I think. But anyways, thank you so much. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching, everybody. Spread the word.